Alright, pretty serious video this time, guys, but as a lot of you probably already know, Alka Memories is pretty much officially kinda over. Now, what I mean by this is the official owner of Alka Memories, Sobi, has officially came out and basically said that they are not going to continue development on the game for the time being due to stress and the current situation that just happened. Now, if you're curious about the situation that just happened, that's pretty much what this video is going to be about. I'm going to briefly go over everything that happened last night and everything that transpired to basically make the game go on this hiatus. And after I explain every sequence of events, I'm going to give my opinion on every sequence also. And then after that, I will be giving a short little update on like the future of this channel and things like that. And I will be making sure that all my opinions stay unbiased, and I'm just gonna try my best to give y'all an outside in perspective of this, even though I have my own personal gripes with the dev team. But without further ado, let's get into the situation that caused the demise of Alka Memories. Alright, to take this back to the very beginning, basically a popular figure slash tester slash content creator in the Alka Memories community under the name of Altaz decided that he was going to drop an expose video on Raven. Raven is also another tester within the Alka Memories community who I'm pretty sure they don't own, but they dictate the characters 2017X, Faker, and Tripwire within the game. Now, according to Altaz, he said that the reason he wanted to post this exposed video on Raven was because Raven was mistreating people on the tester and dev team. Alright, now before we continue, this already sounds messed up. Now, I've never been the one to tell someone to hold their tongue about something or, keep quiet about something, but since you're a tester, making an exposed video on another tester on your established platform just sounds like a formula for disaster within you guys' dev team. The reason I say this is because wouldn't it be better for you and everyone else who've experienced this through Raven to go to the higher ups on the dev team and let them know? But oh man, little did I know. Let's go ahead and move on to the next part of the story. So apparently, Altaz did get in contact with the devs about this, specifically the owner and co-owner. So now you're probably thinking, now that Raven's actions have been submitted to the co-owner and owner of the game, this mistreatment stops here. No. Instead, Sobi and Bonely, owner and co-owner, decided to, pillow talk about Raven to Altaz and just all the things that Raven was doing. I will have screenshot proof of everything that was going on, but here's a screenshot of basically Bonely telling Altaz just more bad things Raven did instead of actually doing something about it. But it gets much worse, because not only did Sobi and Bonely just talk to Altaz in a group chat about all the things about Raven instead of doing something about it, they actually encourage Altaz to post the exposed video. Here's literally a screenshot of Bonely lining up everything that Raven has done so that Altaz can put it into a video? Now before we continue, there's obviously a problem with power here. I don't know what's going on, but why are we sitting here encouraging a exposed video instead of just dealing with the problem at hand right here, right now? But I'll get back to that in just a moment. Here's a screenshot of Bonely telling Altaz that Sobi gave him the okay to post a video, but to make sure that Raven and nobody knows that they were involved in the production of it. But it gets even worse. Here's a screenshot of Bonely telling Altaz that people are finding out about the video, and for some reason, even though he's the co-owner, Bonely seems kinda scared about this. You can literally see the fear in the way that Altaz is typing right here. But here's a screenshot of Bonely saying he's not scared how he'll get treated, he's scared about how Altaz is gonna get treated, which is already weird on its own. But then Bonely proceeds to say that he's also scared of what they'll try to make us do. Now Bonely is the co-owner here talking to a tester. He's pretty much at the highest point of power besides just straight up being the game owner. So who is they? Nobody could make him do anything besides Sobi. But Sobi's also in on this. So who are they talking about? And I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume they're talking about Raven here. Here's literally a screenshot of Romeo literally being aware of this whole thing before the video went up and saying he didn't want to speak on it because he couldn't control what he wanted to say to Raven without lashing out on her. Now like I said, there is some obvious power problems here, because why is it that Sobi, the owner of the game, Bonely, the co-owner of the game, and Romeo, literally the face of this game, can't deal with a single tester who's mistreating other testers without posting a video exposing them online? I'm gonna be honest, this is super pathetic and goes to show that they do not know what they're doing on this dev team. Either that or they got their priorities completely messed up at the moment. But moving on to the next part of the story, on January 10th, Altaz finally decides to post a video exposing Raven. Now before I continue, for the community, like us, this video came out of nowhere. We had no idea that Raven was mistreating people and that Sobi and Bonely was in on this at all. So boom, right? The video went up and the reactions honestly didn't go how Altaz thought it would. On Twitter and in the comments, everyone was saying how low-key this was very unprofessional and it seemed like Altaz was just trying to bash Raven. Lots of comments about how this could have been settled within the dev team instead of being publicly posted on YouTube, like I said. Now here's where it gets really twisted. Shortly after this, there was a lot of controversy going around about Altaz potentially getting fired, right? But the thing is, to us as the community, this was warranted. This actually made sense because to us it seemed like he just irrationally came online and kind of bashed Raven and things like that. But you have to understand, this was before we knew the main owners themselves were in on this too. So Altaz did end up getting fired, and because of that, he pretty much basically had nothing else to lose. So he basically ended up dropping a video where he exposed all the devs, Sobi and Bonely, showing that they were all aware that he was going to post a video and actually encouraged him to do so. This came as a huge shocker to everyone in the community, because this basically means that the owner and co-owner of Alka Memories somewhat set up Altaz, because they encouraged him to post this video just to fire him right after and then act as if they had nothing to do with it. Now Sobi has came out and made statements saying that he did change his mind and tell Altaz to not drop the video, and so has Bonely. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter if you changed your mind down the line. The fact that they were any type of way okay with this at any point just goes to show that they don't know what they're doing, because they're basically all jumping Raven, and by publicly posting this, that's just gonna add super fuel to the fire. Condoning this at any level was just never a good idea, especially if all Raven was doing was just being a little bit of a dickhead. Now I'm not gonna tell Altaz what to do with his channel or the devs, how to go about their day. At the end of the day, this doesn't matter to me. They do what they want to do, but they have to understand whether their intentions were good or not. What they did to Altaz just looks insanely bad. It literally comes off as if they just straight up backdoored him. Now as soon as this happened, unfortunately, a butterfly effect continued to follow. Every 30 minutes after that, someone was either leaving the team or completely scrapping their EXEs from the game. And then shortly but surely, Romeo came out quitting, but also saying he was going to keep himself around. Bonely straight up left the team. And then finally, the owner of Alka Memories, Sobi, said that he was not going to continue development on the game anymore and was going to shelf it. So the game is currently in a state where everybody who's an important figure has quit or just stepped down, and still every second something is getting scrapped, whether that's an EXE, concept, characters, or just being removed by the second. And it's really crazy to see how me and a lot of you guys said this game wouldn't make it past version 0.3, and it's just crazy to see how we were just completely right. And it's crazy because a lot of people probably would have said this game wouldn't last because of the community. But no, this is completely not our fault. This one just isn't on us. If anything, this is the first time the community actually held the devs accountable and we all agreed that it was on them. But I mean, if you were to ask me, I would tell you 99% of the problems of this game come from the devs and how they take criticism and people's different opinions. But I'll leave my personal bias out of this video. Next, I want to talk about Raven. Alright, now for this section of the video, it's a little bit more sensitive, so there's your warning. But basically, before all of this went down, Raven already had parted ways with the team. This was her message she put out a while back on why she removed 2 of her EXEs and why she was parting ways with the team. Now, I am not defending Raven in any shape, way, or form. If Raven was being a dickhead to others, then I hope she does better and can really better herself. But the thing is, I want to talk about how there is a little bit of truth in the things that she's saying. The first thing she says is that she removed her characters due to the lack of coordination and communication. And from what we've seen with this most recent situation, there is most definitely a lack of communication on that team. The second thing is that she said Tripwire's situation forced her to be pushed out with almost no real time for testing. If you ask me, this seems pretty true because we didn't get to see any real progress on Tripwire until V.02 had already been like a few weeks away from releasing. Tripwire's model literally wasn't even finished until version 0.2 had already been delayed a few times, meaning that they were giving us release windows without even having Tripwire's model finished yet. But this is obviously from an outside in perspective of what we've seen. And she also says she didn't like the pattern of pushing unpredictable content as well as hype, which is definitely something the Alka Memories dev team does. They like to hype up things that we won't even be able to play for eons, let alone ever now. Now, I don't agree with Raven being a dickhead to others or mistreating people on the team, but I just wanted to bring light to this because a lot of her statements have a lot of truth to them. Let's not act like she's not basically saying the things that actually go down. She's probably just experiencing them behind the scenes. Now, these next screenshots come from Alta's exposed doc. Now, apparently someone in this Discord had a fictional capital R fetish, which is extremely freaking weird, but you know, that's none of my business. It's their fetish, not mine. But basically, someone was trying to out and expose said person for having those fetishes. Basically, Raven was just trying to say here that, hey, maybe instead of publicly exposing this person for having these fetishes, why don't we just handle this privately here instead of publicly blasting them and making it just that much worse. They weren't defending capital R, especially since they weren't going out hurting people or making people uncomfortable. They just had a weird fictional fetish, which, like I said, that's really freaking weird to have a fetish of that. But Raven was basically just saying, why don't we just learn to mind our business and maybe get them some help? But don't take this as me defending capital R, because I don't condone any of that stuff and don't defend anything like that or any actions like that. But I just wanted to shine light on this because Raven put out a statement recently clarifying that they were not defending capital R. Now, onto this last part of the video, I do just want to say it does suck to see OM go out like this, because still, as of right now, things are still just being scrapped by the second. I used to really love this game. I'd be lying if I said I still do. There's just too many issues and bugs that just don't get fixed on a regular basis that are pretty much game breaking. And as much as I hate to use this word, even after version 0.2, the potential for this game is still there. Yeah, I know it sucks to say something has potential, but the devs not show that said potential, you know? But now that they're scrapping everything and just kind of showing off what the EXEs were gonna play like, it sucks to see it go, because I'm looking at these things and it's like, dang, we really would have had a good game on our hands. So many EXEs, concepts, and just really good music gone to waste simply just because these devs just don't know how to get it together. Not trying to bash them, but there's just so many things they went about the wrong way. Like, off the top of my head, when 2011X was bugged and they were threatening to ban people for using him, and threatening to say that it was bug abuse when the bug could be encountered by literally just playing the killer like normal. It goes to show that the common sense level that they were operating at wasn't the best, and all of those bad decisions carried over through the course of this game and eventually just led to its demise. Now, when it comes to the future of this channel, I do still want to make OM videos, but obviously a lot of things are just gonna have to get scrapped and I'll have to be a lot more creative. And if the game actually does not come back at all, then OM videos probably will just die in general. But on the bright side, I do plan to expand my content out. I want to play all types of ASIM games on Roblox. Like, I want to become a channel where I play every ASIM game, you know, talk about everything. That's kind of where I want to go with this, instead of getting stuck in one lane like OM with devs like these, you know. So let me know what type of ASIM games you guys want to see me play, and I'll try my best to, you know, think outside of the box and be creative for them. Make sure to follow my Discord if you want to stay updated on what I'm doing on other channels or just this channel and everything in general. And to the OM devs, I do believe you guys can make a good game. Y'all just have to come back and just genuinely ignore most of the community's toxicity or just things that just don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, unless people are doxing, just ignore them like every other Roblox dev team. But hey, I try my best to be unbiased and give you guys my true opinion on this situation. And with that being said, let's hope OM can make a comeback and be better. But until then, I'll see y'all next time.